honored in 2007 and one of Time Magazine's Heroes of the Environment for his work as the father of carbon trading, to Dr. Richard Sandor.
Okay, in your lifetime will be the commoditization of air and water. So what do? You've got to do some financial engineering, and you need to invent and find some way to take the air in this room and chop it up so each of us owns a piece of it. Otherwise, it's going to be the standard Great American Barbecue. Everybody step up, it's free, and suck up all the food and all of the that you can drink, because this is America and it's free. And when it's free, you overeat, you overdrink, there's no price and no rationing. And cap and trade is a financial invention. Okay, I don't claim authorship for it. Okay, it is Professor Coase. People focus on the value of trading, the volume of trading, in this billion and that billion and this trillion. That's not the key. The key is to reduce emissions. If you take a look at in 1989, I got by some people, and they said, you know, you helped in commoditize interest rates, you think you can commoditize the air. And being an ultimate optimist, I said, yeah, not knowing of what I spoke. Think carbon. We have a $14 trillion economy, and this program, by the EPA's reckoning, is $1 billion to $2 billion cost a year. The Chicago Climate Exchange was the founding exchange in a family of exchanges that deal with externalities, air and water, okay? And so we're a new niche business that began, and we implement federal, regional, or international agreements when there is an international agreement. When there is not any agreement, we build a voluntary market and act like a central government. And then we burned through the $400,000 and got to the $800,000 second grant and brought in 30 companies, and over a consensus period built a set of objectives for 30 firms, and they were divided into industrial, forest products, power, and agriculture. From the moment we got the money, okay, to when we wrote that Chicago Accord, everything that could have gone wrong went wrong. Okay, I don't mean something, but I mean every single thing that you could imagine. First thing right out of the box, the president pulled out of Kyoto. That was followed by 9/11, the Afghan war, the stock market crashing, the dot-com bubble bursting, Enron imploding and selling energy trading, a deep recession, and a war in Iraq. So that was kind of the circumstances that we began. We went through the $1.2 million. We got friends and families, and then all of a sudden, on a near-death spell, we got our first outside investor. The Jesuits of California, $1.6 million. We went public in 2003. I'm not sure where, but I think Father Francis got out and somewhere around 10 pounds, so we got 1,000%. I was happy because it was important that his client do well. I didn't want him to disappoint his client. And so we established an exchange in Europe to implement the European Union's emissions trading system. That exchange last year traded notionally 100 billion of European carbon. We've established exchanges in Canada in a joint venture with the Toronto Stock Exchange, in Australia with Macquarie Bank, and most interestingly enough, in China. We have a partnership with the China National Petroleum Corporation. I can tell you that I saw an investor of ours when I was in Hong Kong about 3 weeks ago, and their estimate is that 40% of the GDP of China in 2020, 2030 framework 40% will be in renewable energy, $2.3 trillion of their GDP. I believe that emissions trading will not be top-down, it will be bottom-up. And I believe that it will be like cotton was in the 19th century. There was a center in Mumbai, in Winterthur, Switzerland, in Alexandria, in Liverpool, in New Orleans, and then arbitrage linked them all, and they had some common features, but they didn't have a lot. So I believe there will be 6 markets that will be nationally driven. One will be in Europe, the other will be in North America, one possibly in Japan because there's an approach avoidance to trading there, one in China, one in India, potentially one in Brazil and Russia. And they will be linked by offsets. Carbon and markets, it's not tomorrow's, it's yesterday's or today's. It is your future, and it is happening as we speak.